Have you heard anybody ever tell you that, hey, you're just grilling chicken? How hard can it be? All you gotta do is this, 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 and this. But they never explain to you what this, that, and that is. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna be honest with you, chicken is a bit different. And I think some of the concern that you have when you're grilling chicken is that you don't want to undercook it, right? Because you don't want to get anybody sick. But you don't want to overcook it and dry it out. And sometimes you're stuck in that in-between place and you don't have confidence when it comes to chicken, right? So today, that's what I want to talk about. I want you to come along with me as we grill up some chicken wings, but we're not just talking chicken wings today. I want you to hang out with me and let's talk about this whole chicken game. The different cuts of chicken, kind of the mindset you need to have and how you approach chicken across the board. So if that sounds good to you, then let's dive in.
We're cooking 10 pounds of wings today in 2 batches. We've rubbed these down with some extra virgin olive oil and seasoned them using my backbone seasoning blend. The recipe for this blend is 2 parts salt. I like using either kosher salt or sea salt. 1 part garlic, you can go either granulated or powdered. 1 part onion, again, you can go either granulated or powdered. And 1 part paprika and a 1/2 part black pepper. Now, we've got our chicken all seasoned. Let's head back out to the grill.
So for this cook, we're gonna use about a chimney of briquettes. So since we're going indirect for this cook, I wanna go just 1 chimney. Because we're actually gonna be layering fuel. Yep, 1 chimney of briquettes. We'll be layering fuel as well, so I'll show y'all that a little bit later. You wash your channel, you know I use paper towels, put a little oil on them or something like that, just so they'll burn a little bit longer. But I use paper towels when I'm lighting my chimney because it gives me less ash. So that's what you see down there, a couple balls of paper towels. Let's put this in the center. Let's go ahead and light it. There we go. So our chicken is already upstairs. I've already prepped that and that's ready to go. So once these coals are ready, I'll show y'all the next step. So hold on and we'll be right back. One question I get quite a bit is, hey Keith, when you use a chimney starter, do you have to use lighter fluid? And the answer to that is no. No. Because that's the whole function of a chimney starter. Because we have our coals vertically stacked like this, what it's intended to do is to light these coals with just the fire. And just the fact they're vertically stacked like this, so the bottom is going to light first and then that fire will work its way all the way to the top. So again, that's the whole benefit of a chimney starter. And like we just lit these coals are not ready, right? If we were to cook over that, those coals, that's not even a hot fire, you know what I mean? There is no visible flame. We've got all these dirty smoke. These coals are not ready. So if you're cooking over coals like this, that wouldn't be good. Your fire, your grill wouldn't come up to temperature. You're putting off a lot of dirty smoke. So part of this that will show you is knowing when your coals are ready, right? Knowing when it's time, and it's not time yet. Probably give this chimney about maybe 10-12 minutes to work, and then when we come back, I'll show you what it looks like when they're all done and ready to go. All right, y'all, we're back. Our coals are ready, and I told you I was gonna show y'all when these coals get ready. You see that? All that smoke is cleaned up, no dirty smoke. I don't know if y'all can see that flame licking the top. I don't have to wait for them all to ash over. We're not using lighter fluid. You know what I mean? I don't see any smoke. That's what lets me know that they're all burning cleanly. We have clean combustion in the chimney, and it's time to go. All right, let's go. Got my little mitt on here. Let's go ahead and do this. Now, we're going indirect with these wings. On my Smokin Champ, my exhaust vent is on the left side. So that means, and I can't move it like I can on my Weber, right? On the Weber, we can rotate our lid. I can't do that on this grill. So because I know we're going indirect today, I want my coals to be opposite my stack. That's why we're going over here. take these tongs right here. These are the tongs I use to handle my coals with. I don't handle meat with this, just my coals. Just organize them a little bit. All right. But this whole section over here on the right of my grill is just gonna be where our fire is gonna be. All right. So I'm just getting our coals situated here. There we go. Get our coals situated. Nice. Now, I've already cleaned these grates. I'm trying to do a better job of reminding myself to clean my grates after a grilling session. And we've already gone over these after we grilled last, but I want to clean them again and go over them again. So instead of spreading these grates across this entire grill, let's just stack them up in our hot area, right? So they all get hot. So that's what I'm doing now, just stacking up these grates in our hot area. We're gonna let these heat up, give it about 5 minutes or so for these to heat up, and then we'll come back and get our chicken on the grill. So hold on, y'all, we'll be right back. Our grates should be nice and hot, so let's go ahead and get set up here. I'll put this one down. Only need two grates today. I want to leave our fire exposed so I can work it. So now let's get our grill brush. We've already cleaned these last time after I cooked, so I'm going back over them. Also a good idea to leave them up too, right? You don't want your chicken sticking. Use some spray. Matter of fact, that's what I'm gonna do. Yeah, I'm gonna do some spray. Hold on, I'll be right back. Now I do want to monitor grate level temperatures for you today. And we'll talk more about this a little later, but for now, just know that I am using my ThermoPro dual probe wire thermometer, and we're going to monitor grate level temps. That's probe number 1. Probe number 2 will be right there. Perfect. I'm gonna set that off to the side. All right, y'all, we're ready to go. We got our thermometer connected. Let's get going. Got my wings right here. Go ahead and get situated. Now this is a mixed load of wings. We got some drums, we got some flats. We got mostly flats. I noticed that earlier when I was seasoning them. So I typically like to put my drums closest to the fire, but today we're gonna probably just mix them in a little bit. Now what I'm doing when I'm cooking indirect like this, I want airflow around these pieces of chicken. Right, so what you'll notice is that I don't have them all up on each other. Cooking indirect like this, we need adequate airflow. That's what's gonna help cook this. It's almost like an air fryer, right? When you're working in an air fryer, you got that fan blowing. You want to have good airflow in there, air circulation, because the better that air circulates, the more even the food is gonna cook. So same principles in the air fryers apply out here. All right, when we're doing this indirect grilling like we do today. Now we're grilling for a family member today, y'all. She had some chicken in her freezer that she hadn't cooked, and I offered to cook it up for her to be a blessing to her, but to also be a blessing to you all and share with you kind of how I handle some of these larger cooks with chicken, and just talk about some of the challenges with chicken, some of the things that trip people up with chicken. Because now I think this is 10 pounds. I'll drop a text overlay. I'll drop a little note here on what this is. It's either 10 or 20 pounds. I think it's 10 pounds. So we're gonna have to do multiple batches of this, and that is quite okay. What I don't wanna do is put all this chicken on here. And at that point, it's not gonna cook even because we got them all up on each other. You know what I'm saying? So I wanna put just enough on here to where our spacing is right. Good air circulation, and we're not crowded. That's what I'm shooting for here. So I think we're almost there, and that's it. All right, y'all, so that's our setup. Nice separation. They're not crowded on each other. Now, we're layering fuel today. It's the first thing I'm doing when I'm layering fuel. We're going with cherry wood. And we got some pecan wood right here. All right. I like using kiln dried wood, so that wood should ignite pretty quickly. There it goes. So that wood's smoking, ignited now. Now I want to add some lump charcoal. I like adding a little bit of lump to give us a little heat boost and also for some additional flavor. But what I'm doing with this lump, right, I'm not putting a whole lot in here. Just a little bit, enough to give us a boost, give us a little flavor. All right, we got a nice smoke going, y'all, so let's get this closed, right? Y'all ready? Let's go ahead and close this up. A nice clean ignition over here, y'all see that? Let's close it up. Now let's take a look at what we got here. Remember, our fire is over here. This is indirect grilling 101. You want that air, that smoke, travel across your protein and out your grill, right? So that's why we did it like that. So what we're gonna do is let this grill come up to temperature, and then we'll sit down and have a little chat. So hold on and I'll be right back. So y'all just got our chicken wings on. I just wanted to come back and check in with you. Chicken wings are on. I'm looking at our thermal probe. We're coming back up to temperature. We're probably around 330, 325 average between the two probes, and we're coming up to temperature, so we're good. And again, when it comes to chicken, that's what we're talking about today. For these chicken wings, you got to know how you want to approach each cut on the chicken. For chicken wings, I'm doing a technique I call smoke roasting today, right? I absolutely love grilling chicken wings indirect. It's probably one of the first method that I really put a lot of work in to try to master when it comes to chicken wings, is that indirect chicken wing method. Now, I'll cook chicken wings direct too, but when it comes to the flavor profile, when it comes to the evenness of the cook, it's hard to beat an indirect cooked chicken wing, in my opinion, when done right. Now, for a chicken wing, it's skin on chicken, right? So I don't want to be at lower temperatures. I want to be at higher temperatures. Think about it like I'm cooking in an air fryer. You're not going to air fry chicken wings at 275, 250, right? In the oven, I'm not going to be at 275, 250. I'm going to be at 375. I'll go up to 400. Heck, I'll go up to 425. I want to be at those higher ambient temperatures so the fat underneath that skin can render. I can get that skin crispy. So when we're cooking skin on chicken, the strategy and how we approach it is a bit different. You know what I mean? So we're smoke roasting today. We got our layered fuel, we got our briquettes, we got our wood chunks, and we got our lump. Why do we layer the fuel? The briquettes are a cold bed, that's heat. After those briquettes turn white, you're not gonna really get that much flavor out of them like this. So then we add the wood chunks on, not for heat, that's flavor. We got that pecan, we got that cherry, that's flavor. Our third layer is lump charcoal. Why do we add the lump? The lump is heat, right? It's gonna give us a boost. It's gonna burn cleanly, burn efficiently, and it's gonna light just like that because we have an established coal bed, but it's also gonna give us flavor. And because we're adding unlit coal to an established coal bed, we're not gonna get that dirty smoke. It's gonna light cleanly and efficiently. It's almost like adding a log when you're cooking on an offset to an established coal bed. right? You shouldn't get a lot of dirty smoke, if any at all, because it should ignite and it should burn quickly, right? And that's what we're doing here. Now, that's chicken wings, right? I said all that to say that's how I approach chicken wings. Now, you say, let's do another cut of chicken. You do a chicken breast. That's a big difference. When I'm doing a chicken breast, I don't want my heat as intense, because that chicken breast has a window where you can dry it out if you're not careful. 10 minutes too much, 20 minutes too much, and you're drying that out. So I'll still use the indirect technique, but instead of using a whole full chimney, I may use just a half a chimney. I'll still layer in my wood, I'll still layer in my lump, but I dial my heat back. You know what I mean? Then when I'm cooking a chicken breast, I know my safe to eat is 165. It's lean and it's a white meat. I'll cook it to about 160, 155, right? Pull it, then allow for carryover cooking to take it to 165. So I'm right there. I'll probe it to make sure I'm right where I need to be with my instant read, right? Because we don't want to serve up undercooked meat. But my point is that based on what cut of chicken I'm grilling, I'll approach it differently. All right, that's the takeaway. Think about each cut and what you're doing. So what if we grilled these chicken wings at 225? 225 degrees Fahrenheit, 250. What type of result could we get? Now you could do that. You can do that. But if you do that, lower temperatures with skin on chicken, what do you run the risk of? That's where you get that rubbery skin, right? And for what you want to do, that you may be okay with that. That may be what you want. But for me, that's not my preferred texture when it comes to a chicken wing. And we talked about that a couple months ago when we were breaking down wings, right? Remember that? We talked about texture, we talked about color, we talked about all these things that go into chicken wings. So the point really is to understand the different cut of chicken that you're grilling and to put in time with that cut, and that's how you get your confidence, right? Put in time with that chicken breast, put in time with that leg quarter, put in time with that drumstick, and that's how you get your confidence. So let's just go through the cuts, if y'all don't mind. We hanging out, let's go through the different cuts. So how I approach a chicken wing, it's gonna be higher temperatures like you see today. How would I approach a chicken breast? I told you that, right? It's gonna be less temperature, less heat, more gentler heat. And I wanna ease it into the pocket, and I pull it early for carryover cooking. That's a chicken breast. Now how do I approach a leg quarter, right? How do I approach chicken legs? Now we get into dark meat. And that dark meat is more forgiving. So I'll blast some leg quarters and some legs with 400 degrees, 375, 425, right? I'll sling them over the direct grill and do all kind of things with that, because they get better and better to me the higher you get. Don't go too far, because you can't dry out a leg quarter, you can't dry out a leg, but it's really harder to do that, right? If you watch what you're doing, pay attention to detail. Like a leg quarter, for example, like we cooked some in the oven the other day, and we were trying to eat pretty quickly, and I didn't cook them as long as I wanted to in the oven. And what I learned is that although I was at safe to eat, above safe to eat, we took them to 180. But because they were at 180 degrees internal, they still were not tender, right? So when it comes to tenderness, that's that relationship between time, temperature, and moisture. You can hit an internal temperature on a cut of meat. My point is, you can hit an internal temperature, but that doesn't mean that cut, the way you cooked it, is going to impact how tender it is. So like on a leg quarter, right? When I cooked them in the oven, we were hitting 170, 180, but when you try to separate that thigh from that leg at that joint, it wasn't as tender as I would have wanted it to be. Why is that? It didn't have enough time. It didn't have enough time in the oven, right, to really break down that joint and to get it tender. So then you remember that, and then you remember that, oh, in order to get it tender, I've got to keep it on the fire longer. Well, to keep it on the fire longer, I got to dial my fire back now, right? because I got a good crust, I got a good bark. Now I'm just working on tenderizing it. You know what I'm saying? So with your different cuts of chicken, the big thing is don't approach them all the same. They're different. Different cuts, different techniques, right? And if you just remember that one thing, give it a try and let me know what you think down in the comments. Because yeah, keep that in mind. And I really think it'll help you get more confidence and it'll help you not be intimidated, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to grilling chicken. All right, y'all, it's been 30 minutes. So let's come in here and see how we're doing. 30 minutes. Oh yeah. Whenever you open up the grill, use your senses to see what's going on. Don't just simply rely on your thermometer. What do you see? What do you see? Right? What am I looking at? I'm looking at my cold bed. It looks pretty healthy. I see that I've got my chunks here burning. I see most of my lump charcoal is spent. Okay? I'm looking around. After 30 minutes, I'm looking at how much my chicken has changed. I don't need to know the internal temperature of my grill. You know what I'm saying? I got the thermometer set up really for you guys to see and to show you all, but I don't really need the thermometer. I'm just looking at how much this chicken has changed in 30 minutes. Right? So this is just what I'm thinking about here. Now I'm looking at my color. How even is our cook? Do the ones over here look faster than these? Do we even need to flip these? Let's look at one of them. Am I pleased with that? Yeah. If you said, hey Keith, I'm not going to flip this chicken, I wouldn't be mad at you. Indirect like this, when you have good airflow, you really don't have to flip. I'm going to just look at a few of these pieces and see. But again, I think I might flip them here since I've already started. But I wouldn't be mad if you didn't flip them. Right? Because I'm not flipping to be flipping. I'm just looking at I'm trusting my senses. Do they look like they need to be flipped? And you can argue that they don't. Then don't flip them. You know what I'm saying? But make decisions on what you're seeing. Trusting your senses. Not just trusting the clock or what your buddy down the street did. Because your buddy down the street is not grilling like you grilling. Right? They don't have the grill that you have. Or they're not grilling in the temperature you're grilling. They're not grilling at this specific moment. Under these specific conditions. So that's why you have to have enough understanding and enough of a grasp of the fundamentals to be able to adapt and adjust based on your situation and based on what the challenges or what the conditions this grilling session on this day presents you. That's the whole point. That's the whole point. So yeah, I'm gonna get these flipped. Y'all just hold on a minute while I get these flipped. Then we're gonna go to the next thing. Oh yeah, but that pecan and cherry, whew, man. If you haven't tried that combination, y'all, Lord have mercy. You got to try it. You got to try that pecan and cherry if you have not tried that. I'm talking about nice and smooth, mild, just enough pop, just enough sweetness. Great combo. I love that color, y'all. I love that color. Here we go. We're gonna let this go for 30 more minutes. Now, what I am gonna do, I don't need any more wood. We're good on wood. But what I'm gonna add is some more lump. Because based on the change I'm seeing, I think we got some more lump we can add. And again, I'm adding lump to a cold bed that's already established. Right? Let's take my tongs here. Kind of clean it up a little bit. But yeah, this lump is gonna burn nice and cleanly because we're already adding it to a hot and established cold bed. So I'm not concerned about dirty smoke or anything like that because it should burn gradually and it's already on a established cold bed, y'all. So that's it, y'all. Let's go ahead and get this closed. So we just checked on our chicken wings, y'all. We're looking good, looking really good. So one thing I want to talk to you about, we talked about chicken, right? Let's talk about the technique we're using today. Indirect grilling. I'm gonna just break it down. I'm gonna let you into my head a little bit, right? So this might sound like a rant, but this is just my thought process. When I'm out here flowing, I'm out here grilling, this is everything that I'm thinking about. And sometimes I do it now like second nature, but I know for those of you learning how to grill, hopefully this helps you kind of get into my head a little bit so you know kind of what to think about, right? So first thing, I know I'm cooking a lot of chicken. I think I mentioned that to you. I'm cooking this for a family member, 10, 15 pounds, something like that. So I know that I'm gonna cook this in multiple batches. I know how much the Smokin Champ can take, and I don't want to overcrowd the grill. So I'm already thinking about I gotta cook in multiple batches. So let me prep all my chicken at once. That's why I use my big bus tubs. So I'm prepping all at once in a batch. How do I want to season this? I've got something I call my backbone blend. I'll show you the recipe here, what I'm doing. Because my seasoning is gonna kind of be tied to my technique. Because I'm going indirect like this, there may be some seasonings that I use, but if I was going direct, I might not use them because of the burn risk, like sugars and things like that, right? But I'll show you the seasoning recipe I'm using. So I'm thinking that through that in my head. Now I'm thinking about, all right, I've got my chicken prep. Now let's go fire up my grill. Now I'm like, how much charcoal do I want to use? We talked about this on the channel. How much charcoal you're going to use, you have to make sure that it fits your grill and fits your cook. So this is a checklist I want you to start using. The first is fire structure. Are we going direct, indirect, or two zone? Well, for this cook, we're going indirect. Okay, I got that in my head. I, right? Fit, F-I-T. The I is intended temperature. What is my intended temperature today? Man, I want to be above 300, right? I want to be ideally 350, 375. Okay, so I know the temperature I want to hit. What is my technique? What is my burn technique? Are we doing a minion? We doing a simple burn? Or are we doing a snake? We're not on the kettle grill. We're not doing a snake. We're going to be somewhere between a simple burn and a minion, right? We're going to start off with an established cold bed of briquettes. Then we're going to add our wood chunks to it, and then we're going to add our lump charcoal on top of that, right? So we're going to do a simple burn, but we'll top off our fuel as needed. So I got all this in my head. Now I'm going back to past cooks where I know how much charcoal I've used on this grill. And on my Smokin Champ, I'm starting off with 1 chimney of briquettes. That's how I calculate how much fuel I'm going to use. That's the thought process I go through. And as you get more and more of these cooks under your belt, and you know what worked and what didn't work, you can better refine your estimate. But it's really specific to what you're cooking and what grill you're using. Those are my points, right? Keep that in mind. So now we get to dumping out our coals, right? I know I'm going indirect grilling 101. I want to separate. I want my coals to be opposite my stack because I want that air to circulate. Boom. Got that in my mind. Let's go ahead and do that. Next, clean my grates. Let's move all the grates over the hot zone. Let's clean our grates. Now let's spread our grates back out. Once we do that, now let's make sure our grates are lubricated because we don't want our chicken to stick. Boom. I'm working through that. All right. And then we get our chicken on. And once we get our chicken on, I want good separation because the airflow is what's going to be cooking these, and we got to have good airflow, y'all. If we don't have good airflow on this grill, then it's not going to work. The indirect method starts to break down because there's 3 different heat transfer methods. What are they? And I'm going to tell you why I'm asking you this after you tell me. First, we have convection. I gave you that one. That's when the heat is transferred through the air, like we're cooking today. The second is conduction. That's going to be your primary heat transfer method when you're cooking over direct heat. the heat gets transferred from the fire, like to the grates, and a lot of that goes from the grates to the grill. You know what I mean? But you got the third one, which is radiant heat. That's when the heat is gonna transfer just from proximity, right? The closer you are to the fire, you get more of that radiant heat transfer. You got heat bouncing off the walls of your grill, being absorbed to the meat. That's radiant heat transfer. Now, why am I telling you this? Right? Is this a little science experiment project? Not necessarily. I'm telling you that because for those 3 different heat transfers, that's a different flavor profile. Think about it, right? 3 different ways heat gets transferred. Each one of them has its own flavor profile. Then when you start combining them, you start to unlock different flavor profiles, and they start stacking on each other. You know what I'm saying? So when I'm out here and I'm grilling, that's what I'm doing. And a lot of us who grill, some of this becomes second nature. But in order to teach somebody else and show somebody else, you have to be able to explain these things, right? You got to be able to share these things, because some people who struggle on the grill, some of this stuff may not come easy to them. You know what I'm saying? Some of this stuff, they may have to work at it a little harder. But I share this to help you. I share this to be an encouragement to you. I share this so that maybe you get something in this video that unlocks something like, oh, I never thought about it like that. And then the next time you hit the grill, you have more confidence, you have a better result, and things are just clicking for you. All right? So yeah, I know it's kind of long-winded there, but hopefully this helps somebody. If this helped you, man, let me know. Hit that like button, leave me a comment down below, because that's the intent of what I want to do. Hopefully be a blessing to you, so to give you the confidence, give you the skills you need to come out here to this grill and make it do what it do. All right, y'all, it's been about 30 minutes. So let's go ahead and just check on our chicken. Cold bed looks good. Remember, we got another batch of chicken to do, so I'm just looking at the cold bed, seeing what if anything, we need to do. Now looking at my chicken, color looks good. Now I want to get some temperatures on these, just see where I am. Color looks good there. Y'all see that? There you go. I'm upwards of 200 on the chicken wing. I am okay with that. Well above safe to eat. But on the chicken wing, I will carry it higher than I would a chicken breast. We talked about that. All right. 180s, I'm fine with that. You gotta, to me, a minimum, you gotta be above 170. But I will carry it above that for what I like, the texture I like, how I like a chicken wing. I'll take it up there to them 180s, 200s, you know what I'm saying? I don't have any problems with that on a chicken wing, especially when I see the texture like we're seeing here today. I don't have any problem with that. Just checking on our temperatures right now. We look good. So what I want to do, let's go ahead and pull these now, just to make sure you don't get confused, right? I have 2 bus tubs. The one that had the raw meat in there, that's in the fridge. This is a clean bus tub. Right, this is a clean bus tub that's been clean, sanitized, and we're going to use this for our cooked proteins today. So make sure there's no confusion. All right, so let's go ahead and get these off. Color looks good. I'll show y'all that. See that? Now a grilled chicken wing, to me, that's the color that I want it to have. Now I know we use some of our lighter woods today, and cherry and pecan. So we might not have the color like we would with the hickory. But that's the color I expect to see when someone tells me they're grilling up some chicken wings. If you got some grilled chicken wings and your chicken wings are pale, I'm kind of looking at you like, okay, what's really going on? Right? Because pale chicken wings in the grill is like, okay, wait a minute. As you cook these, we should have some color. We don't have to have char, but we should have some type of color on them. You know what I'm saying? If they don't have a color on them, I'm looking at you like, what's really going on here? Alright? So what I want to do is get these pulled. Get these in the house. Then we'll come back down, put our other batch on. All right, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead, head up, get these in the oven just to hold them warm, and I'll be right back. All right, y'all. I just got that batch of chicken wings off. The first batch is in the oven. Second batch is on. So I'm gonna hang out here and finish this cook. But I thank you so much for hanging out with me today, as we grilled up some chicken wings. And hopefully, the next time you grill chicken, you can grill with a bit more confidence, right? Because you're investing in your understanding. You're investing in your getting a grasp of the fundamentals, okay? But I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. If this video helped you at all, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, right? So whenever we drop another video, you'll be the first to know. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Until next time, grill boldly, serve proudly, and enjoy the process. Y'all, I almost forgot. Why y'all let me forget? We didn't even do a taste test. Got one of these flats right here. Cherry pecan wood. Let's go. It's a nice clean taste, y'all. Seasoning is on point. Oh yeah. Come on, y'all. Give that pecan and cherry a try and let me know what you think down in the comments. Thank you so much for watching Daddy DIY Grilling. Until next time, grill boldly, serve proudly, and enjoy the process. I want to give a big shout out to our channel members. It's because of your generous support that we're able to keep creating and sharing these grilling resources. You're a huge part of this community, and we couldn't do it without you.